the Americans and the Europeans, they have to understand that India is not actually a democratic state. India is not giving rights to self determination to the people of Kashmir. Actually, it is carrying forward its agenda of colonization in this region, and peoples in Europe and in America, they have to speak up. They have to speak up for the people of Kashmir.
Why do you think that has not happened? Why do you think the international community has largely stayed out of talking about, let alone trying to resolve much of what you just described?
Yeah, okay. This is very pressing and interesting question. Uh, from the perspective of international relations, it's more important to understand the international politics, and especially when we understand the international politics from the realist school of thought, it actually gives us the correct information. Now here are two cases. One is Kashmir and another one is Gaza. What is happening in Gaza in the last 1 year? What happened? More than 40,000 people, including most of the people are children and women, they have been killed in Gaza. But what international community is doing, what the US, the European, the German, and French, and even UK, they are doing, they are giving money, they are giving weapons to Israel. Why? Because Israel is a client state in this Middle Eastern region. US wants to maintain and to secure its hegemonic state on international level, as well as it wants to contain the rising influence of China and Russia, as well as Iran in the Middle East region. Similarly, when we talk about the Kashmir conflict, this realist school of thought explains that states are self interested. They only think about their own national interest, and they actually safeguard their interests, and they never bother to think about the human rights and the upholding of human rights or the such kind of violation. India, in this scenario, we understand that India is a rising economy. India is, I think, the fourth largest economy in the world after China. And since 2002, US is considering India from the perspective of to counter China. And US has developed a very close and very robust relationship with India. It signed a nuclear deal in 2006, as well as it signed a 10 years defense pact in 2006, which was renewed in 2016. And India, the US has transferred more than 15 billions of weapons and ammunitions and new planes to India. So the US is thinking that it will use India to counter China in the larger Asia Pacific region. And this was the reason that during the Trump administration, they gave a special status to India, that now in this Indo-Pacific region, India will provide the net security to this region. And this perspective, the realist perspective, actually telling us that no state in the world is thinking about the human rights violations or the democratic norms and of values. They are only thinking that how they can secure their national interests. So in this scenario, from the international perspective, India is more important because it is economically stronger, militarily it is stronger, it has more diplomatic clout in international community. Their voice is listening in the US, in the Europeans, and as well as in other parts of the world. But on the other side, Pakistan, which is also a party to this dispute, Pakistan in this current scenario is not most important or most prominent. There are two factors most important. The first thing, it lost its relevance in international politics due to the withdrawal of US from Afghanistan. The first thing, US is not focusing on the South Asia. Now US is more focused on the Indo-Pacific region, and now in the Middle Eastern region. So Pakistan is not important, it is not protecting the national interests of the US. So this is the reason that India, the US is not supporting the Pakistani perspective. Another thing, domestically, Pakistan is engulfed in various issues. It is consistently facing political instability since 2022. Another thing, that it is economically weak. It is largely it is dependent on the multilateral institutions for the economic bailout, as well as it is dependent on China, on the Middle Eastern states. So this is the reason that Pakistan is not projecting its just case in front of international community, which is actually missing the opportunity that how India is doing its own part, that they are more projecting their diplomacy is more stronger and more effective. They are telling the international community that Kashmir is our part, and we are. It has no issue in this region. There is a peace. People are living a happy life. So from the international perspective, what I said, that this realist school of thought is clearly explaining that why nation states are not putting pressure on India just because of their national interests.